Good morning. I am here at Stevens Pass just after sunrise, and today I am climbing a mountain I have had my eye on for years, Lichtenberg. This is a mountain if you know hiking in Washington, you've probably seen it before. It is that big pointy mountain that overlooks Lake Valhalla. And today, my goal is to finally climb it. It's a really impressive looking mountain. And it's going to be a more involved climb today, but I think I am up for the challenge. The route I'm doing today is via Smithbrook. So I'm taking the PCT to Lake Valhalla and then a bushwhack, faint boot path, scramble to the summit. This is about 9.5 miles round trip with 2,700 feet of gain, give or take. But this is probably one of the more iconic peaks at Stevens Pass. And today I'm gonna climb it. It's gonna be good training for a lot of different things. Training up miles again, getting some scrambling in, and some route finding in. So let's go climb this mountain. Welcome to Lake Valhalla. It is just after 7. I just did the PCT section of this climb and I got to the lake, and check it out. I have one of the most popular lakes in Washington all to myself. And it's a weekend, so that just goes to show if you get here early enough, you can absolutely have solitude here. But now that I'm at the lake, I can also see where I'm going. That is Lichtenberg. It is a very intimidating looking mountain from this lake. The climb is not supposed to be too bad. It's supposed to be class 2 with a little bit of class 3 involved. So it's not supposed to be too bad, but from down here, that looks like a pretty intimidating mountain. But the route, I'm going to keep following the PCT around the lake, cross the lake outlet, and then I'm going to be taking some heather slopes up along the backside of this thing. So that's the next section. I've done all the easy part, and now I've got about 1,000 feet more to climb in about 1.5 miles. So this is going to start getting into a real climb, but I think I'm gonna sit and enjoy this lake for just a moment. Well, I made it to the far side of the lake, and I gotta say, this mountain does not look less intimidating up close. I am going up that. And obviously not going up this face, that's crazy. Yeah, cut across the outlet and hopefully find the slopes to take me up there, but yeah, That is one heck of a mountain. It's pretty cool. The bugs kind of came out on the backside, so I'm hoping once I get back into the sun I can take my coat off again, because I would prefer not to have to stay covered up and sweaty for the hardest part of this. But yeah, gonna start route finding and hopefully coming across a boot path. It is unclear how clear the route is from this point on. So we'll have to see. This might be a bushwhack for the next 1,000 feet. But as far as mileage goes, I am very close to the summit, but I still have some climbing to do. So I'm coming for you, Lichtenberg. Halfway up this climb, and yeah, the boot path is very much an exaggeration, which is fine. I had prepared for this to be total route finding and bushwhacking. It's kind of in between. Sometimes I pick up a faint boot path, but most of this is just straight up climbing through this. I came up this, now I'm cutting across to get in the final gully to get up to the summit. It's just taking a while to do the route finding bits, but I'm under the false summit and I can see, I believe, the true summit. So I think about like 500 feet more to go or so, but yeah, this is definitely takes it up a notch once you leave Lake Valhalla, that's for sure. Lichtenberg Mountain. That is the summit rock behind me. Gosh, that was a hard-earned summit. Those heathers, blueberry slopes are insanely steep and loose. Oh, gaining the ridge was no joke, but I feel like I can see all of the Cascades. I am right in the middle. I'm at one of the taller peaks, on top of one of the taller peaks in Snoqualmie Pass. I could just see everything. Oh my gosh. Oh, the view is incredible. Oh, picking out peaks is gonna be so much fun. But now you might be thinking, Bonnie, this does not look like the big tall pinnacle you pointed down at the lake. And you'd be correct. Behind me is the true summit of Lichtenberg. This is the tall one. That is the pinnacle. And if you think I came all this way not to climb that pinnacle, you would be wrong. I'm gonna go over there in just a bit, but I'm gonna enjoy the wind, enjoy the summit, get some electrolytes in me. Woohoo! Lichtenberg! will go ahead and try and give the tour from the summit. I am on the summit rock for Lichtenberg, and gosh, I don't even know where to start. Let's just start looking southeast at Mount Stewart, which means we've got some of the enchantments, and then we're coming down here to the big two white ones here. That's Mount Daniel and Mount Hinman, and then we're kind of in the Sequoia Pass area here. This big peak over here is Labyrinth Mountain. That is one of my favorite mountains. And then we're getting back down the Highway 2 corridor. You can see Bearing and Gun and the points of index. Really, really pretty. And then I believe we've got Sloan. And then we're getting into the Kai's Monte Cristo peaks here. That's Sloan. Okay, yeah, that's Sloan, the big pointy one there. I can see Mount Baker behind a cloud there. And then there she is, Glacier Peak. Look at that amazing, amazing mountain. And then that is Mount McCausland. You can see the boot path that goes up to the summit. That's the more popular of these two peaks to climb. And that is the pinnacle. And I'm gonna get on the pinnacle to give the rest of the tour, or we'll see how doable it is. I think I see a route up it to get to the top, so we'll have to see. But gonna take the boot path over there and finish the tour, because I think if I can get on top of there, we can look down on Lake Valhalla. Lichtenberg East, baby! Woohoo! Oh my gosh, that was an invigorating scramble to get up here. I had to ditch my stuff. I am on the pinnacle, and the view of Lake Valhalla is as good as I had hoped it would be. Let me show you. And there is Lake Valhalla. I have dreamed of getting this view for years. Finally, I see it. And finally, I have conquered that scary looking spire that overlooks Valhalla. The view from McCausland is not even close. This is the view. And I am hot and tired, and I have a lot of descending to do in some tricky conditions. I might have to take a dip in that lake when I get back down there, because this is going to be a long day, and I think I have earned it. But yeah, got on top of the spire. I was worried it might be too difficult or too sketchy. It was definitely brushy class 3 with exposure. So I'm not sure I would recommend it. I got some scrapes on my arm from the trees. I definitely wouldn't recommend that, but whew, for me, this is just about perfect. Okay, I do have to head back down. My gear is down at the base of this thing, and then I gotta start thinking about descending. God, the first 1,000 feet going down are gonna be such a pain. Once I get to the lake, it'll be smooth sailing. That was Lichtenberg, and that was as much of an adventure as I had bargained for. Really satisfying mountain to climb, but a couple of notes about the route. The first thing is I did the summer route, which I don't think is done as often as the winter route. You will see a lot of trip reports for this online, and a lot of them are ascending in the winter, which is probably easier if you have the backcountry snow travel skills. And so the summer route involves a little bit more, I guess. It's more route findy, the terrain is more of an obstacle. And I want to emphasize very strongly that there is no path. It is bushwhacking and route finding to get to the summit once you leave Lake Valhalla. And some of the route finding is a little bit more challenging because you can't really see where you're going. So I wouldn't say this is a good beginner route find or bushwhack scramble. And the true summit itself actually is not much of a scramble. You just have to go up those steep heather slopes, which are a pain, but I'd say that all sits soundly in class 2, but to get over onto the pinnacle like I did, that absolutely involves scrambling with exposure, so be aware of that as well. That being said, this was really fun and a really good way for me to prepare for some more strenuous and technical climbs this summer. And it's just a really satisfying one to point to and go, I climbed that, I was up there, especially to be able to do it from Lake Valhalla. So really fun one, definitely an interesting route. If you're in it for the peak bagging and you've done some other stuff similar to this, go for it. But there are not a lot of GPS tracks or anything like that, and a lot of the trip reports are from the winter route. So just know that going in, the beta is a little bit more sparse. But that being said, I don't think it's not awful. You know, I thought it was pretty straightforward. It wasn't too difficult. I was never lost. But you know, it just takes a while. Anyway, I've definitely gone on long enough. That was a really cool mountain to climb. Very glad I got the summit. So thank you so much for watching, and here are my favorite pictures from the trail today. Enjoy.